What is going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Bland back in the building with another video. And before I get started on today's video, I just want to say thank you. Shout out to everybody for the support on the recent Gears of War E-Day video. It is popping off. I thank you guys so much. You guys seem to be really enjoying these standalone videos on the channel while we're waiting and while I'm figuring out the podcast situation. So I'm going to keep putting out these standalone videos and you guys just let me know what you want to see. All right. But other than that, let's dive into today's video, man. I have a really good one, and it's something I've been dying to talk about for a while. And if you're looking at the thumbnail, we're talking South of Midnight, a game that I've been aware of for about 3 to 5 years now. And I've been a huge fan of. So essentially the game is being made by Compulsion Studios, which is the same dev that made Contrast as well as We Happy Few. A couple of smaller titles that have been on Xbox. This is really their first big AAA like title, and I am extremely excited. So to kind of let you in on a backstory here, I received a DM probably 4 to 5 years ago, and it was just a couple pictures, and somebody said this is what Compulsion is working on. And at the time I'm like, I just really couldn't put any pieces together. I'm like, okay, what kind of game is this? What are these characters for? I knew they looked interesting. Fast forward to today, and those pictures were 1,000% accurate, which is really cool. But I'm really excited about this game, so I'm gonna dive into it a little bit, some of the particular stuff and why I think it's probably the most interesting Xbox first party game to come out this year, right? So I'm really excited for it. Essentially what South of Midnight is, it is a third-person action-adventure game. It is releasing on April 8th in about 8 or 9 days here, so very shortly. Going to be on PC, Steam, as well as Xbox Series S and X, as well as Gamepass as well. So that's really good. I got Gamepass, so that's where I'm playing it. But it's a third-person action-adventure game. It does have some like platformy elements. I did see that with more combat videos, with more videos of just the world. They did show a lot of platforming, which I'm fine with. It didn't seem to be too platformy, but I'm okay with it. A lot of it has to do with just the way Hazel uses her powers, so which is really cool. So I kind of want to segue into Hazel as well, because that's my first point, right? If you didn't watch the Compulsion Games documentary, I will link it in the description below. Please go watch it and see the amount of passion, care, love, and time they took to make this game. They really had this idea, and they really put 1,000% of their energy into making this as authentic and as original and as close to the original idea as they wanted. And to see the passion from Compulsion Games, they actually visited the Deep South multiple times. They visited the Appalachian Mountains. A lot of the scenery that's going to be in the game, they went there physically. They went and talked to historians, the locals in the area. They went to all different places just to get the authentic story about what the Deep South actually means and what this story means to the Deep South. So that's a big thing for me. And it kind of segues into Hazel, right? She is the main protagonist of the story. And essentially what happens is, you know, there's a lot going on in the Deep South. It looks like there's a storm. She loses her mother, and then she inherits this power, essentially the power of a weaver. And what a weaver is, it's a magical mender of broken bones and spirits. So look at the world as a loom, as a gigantic loom of just energy. With her weaver power, she's able to manipulate that energy. She can make objects out of it. She can disperse bad energy. She can do all kind of things and manipulate the strings of life, essentially. So it's really cool, and I love that concept because it challenges her. And you see through some of the documentary that we get, as well as some of the gameplay we get, you see how her ability matures as she understands the weight of what she's going through. And I love the fact that they tie that in directly to her power, which makes her a very interesting character as well. And she is a young African-American young lady from Louisiana. We don't get those ever in gaming. I think this may be one of the few times we have a character specific to that region that's a young African-American woman. So, and that's another thing too, the location, the lore and the location. So it is based in Deep South Louisiana. We get very few stories out of there, very few games with that backdrop on top of the lore. And that's what really excites me because, you know, you think about Greek lore, you think about Egyptian lore, and we get 1,000 games that cover all the lore. Viking lore, we get a bunch of that stuff. Norse gods, all of that stuff. we very rarely get the Americana Deep South folklore. And that's really exciting because these stories are not only written down, they're also in poems, but the cool thing about it, they're passed down from generation to generation verbally. These are stories and characters and mythical creatures that are real to the people in Deep South. You know, they're rooted down there in the Deep South, and it's cool that we're getting a story around that. And I love the fact that that's happening. And it's rare. Like I said before, it's cool to see how they handle that. We don't get these kind of stories in games, which is really awesome to me, right? And then that ties right into like what's going on in the story, right? The creatures and characters that she comes upon, these mythical creatures, right? The character design art style is phenomenal. I love the fact that they took this kind of art Gothic deco style and like transmuted it into like Deep South, right? It's run down, it's swampy, it's Everglades, it's frogs, it's fireflies, it's everything. But you throw that and you took all of that in a pot of gumbo and you throw that into like Gotham City, there's this weird art style that comes out of it. And I love the fact that they took that route with it. It's extremely, extremely exciting for me. And then obviously the combat and the way the game plays. The mechanics look really cool. I love the way the game plays. It actually plays a bit faster. The game is in 60 frames, by the way. So it is running 60 frames. So it will be full 60 frames, which I'm excited about as well, too. That means it's going to be smooth. Now, to be fair, there is some stop motion going on with the animation. Some people do not like that. I love it because I think it differentiates that from other games. You know, and I think you can toggle it off and on as well, too. And I believe it's only in the cutscenes. I don't think the game actually plays that way. So, you know, they give you a little bit of a break there. So overall, that's just a few different reasons why I think this might be the most interesting first party IP, at least up until we get some announcements this summer, right? This might be one of those games that just falls right under the radar, but I think it's going to be very, very well received, and I'm extremely excited for it. And you guys let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of South of Midnight as well. Once again, coming out April 8th. Are you guys playing it day one? What are some of the things you enjoy about the story? Yeah, let me know. But other than that, I will be back on the next video. Peace out, everyone.